What is good, everybody? Hello, I'm back. As you may or may not tell by these weird looking person sitting in the screen in front of you. Hope you're all doing good. Hope you're all keeping safe with this whole coronavirus nonsense. Today, basically, I'm gonna give a little story based upon, me coming out with something that was difficult for me to talk about at the time. And that's essentially my little journey with anxiety. Just in a bit more detail, because I did say something on Twitter. I'll put the link in the description for you. But this is kind of like the main story, if you will. So I'm going to try and spit out as much of it as I can without sounding like an idiot. So yeah. So 2 years ago, it was in my first year of university. I was suffering from a lot of anxious situations where I would be talking to people, but it didn't feel comfortable to me. Like, I would be in groups of people and I just didn't feel comfortable, and it made me feel a certain kind of way. And most of the time I would feel claustrophobic when I was with people. And that was when I started to kind of realize that this was something that it just didn't seem right. You know what I mean? And for someone like me, anyone who knows me, I play basketball a lot. I play basketball pretty much all the time. Gym is something that's become such a paramount part of my life as well. And for those who know me, they think, oh my goodness, I'm such a confident person. He's such a guy who knows what he's doing all the time and he knows how to go about things. When in reality, that is not the case. I was struggling so much to the point that I would actually have to tell people, oh yeah, I'm just going to go to the bathroom, and I'd go lock myself in a room away from everyone, just have a breakdown there and then. And then I would walk away from it and pretend I was absolutely fine. And it did gradually get worse. I found myself secluding myself a lot more from people. I found myself hiding a lot more from people and just refusing to go talk to them. And some people began to realize, I'm like, okay, you're not yourself, what's going on? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I just play it off. Denial was always a big thing with all of this. Until one day it was, it got to a point, it was literally this summer that passed, July 2019 to be specific. So I was at a work meal with some friends. I had to leave early, so some context to this. I actually had been jumped 3 times before this on a beach near my house. They beat me, tried to stab me, etc, etc. So that was an ordeal of its own. So I was on my way home. 10 p.m. wasn't too dark, and I wanted to use the bathroom, so I took a wrong turn for a public bathroom, and there was these guys threw a racial slur at me, and obviously I was really stupid at the time. I just snapped, and I was like, what did you say? And as soon as I turn around, this massive glass bottle just smashes me straight on the head. And I'm out cold, so I will try and see if I can find the picture and put it in here. But essentially, it fucked me up in no other way to say it, and I was left with a broken skull, quite literally a shatter. If anyone, it literally runs from like here to here, and it was tough. For me to try and come back from that with like, I'm not saying I can't, I did in the end, but, with my anxiety, it made me not want to go anywhere. It made me just want to hide. And I think for the next month or so before I went back to Morocco, it was definitely something that I refused to deal with. And eventually it came to a point where I just had to say to myself, look, I can't keep living in fear anymore of it, because I'm not going to lie to you, I'm quite a big guy. For anyone who knows me, I am a huge guy. But irrespective of that, I'm someone who is just as susceptible to get his ass beaten by a group of guys than the next person, you know what I mean? And for me, it was something that I had to just deal with. And, going to Morocco and being with my family, it kind of helped me come back to myself and be who I am. So eventually, I said to myself, look, fuck this. If something's going to happen, something's going to happen, but I have to deal with it. And despite having that anxiety and despite having that problem that I was always going to be afraid of social interaction, let alone having to look over my shoulder now every single time I'd walk out, I was just like, I have to do it. And, as time would go on, I'd learn to cope better with the symptoms. I'd learn to cope better with how it would make me feel. And to an extent, it got good. I would come back to my 3rd year of university, which is coming to an end now. Shout out to the University of Portsmouth, as you can see right here. And it started off really well. September was a really good month. Everything went really good. And then October, I actually ended up getting jumped again in broad daylight this time. So this was in October, I think it was very end of September, very beginning of October, first few days. And I was just walking through a park, and these 2 guys literally shoved me for no reason. I just didn't want to say anything, so I tried to walk it off. And again, it was, you know, they threw a racial slur at me, and I was just like, okay, you know what, I've had enough of this. So I shoved them back. And again, anyone who knows me, I actually had an operation done on my knee to do my ACL, which I kind of messed up a few years back in basketball. So I had like a reconstruction done, and the guy literally toe punted me right on that reconstruction, shattered my knee entirely, gave me a broken hand, and basically refractured my skull. So that was something that just, I think, sent me over the edge. You know, if we're speaking in complete and total honesty. Yeah, like, for the next 2-3 months, it was the worst 2 or 3 months of my life. I did some shit that I never wanted to do in my life, and I never will do again. And, you know, I lost so many people, and I went into hiding, into shutdown mentally, because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. And it took a toll on my basketball. Like, I stopped playing basketball for about 6 months. You know, I would try and train here and there, but I refused to play because my anxiety just reached to such a point where I can't deal with this. I can't talk to people. I needed to distance myself because I was afraid that every time I would try and talk to someone, I'd have a breakdown. And I think that was the most upsetting thing, was I could have had a much better year leading up to now, but it was just these events that no one can really plan for. They just happen, and when they do, you deal with it, kind of thing. But, you know, we're here now. It's now April 4th. Alhamdulillah, thank God, you know, we're back on track with everything. I'm back on YouTube, like I said I would be. Obviously, this coronavirus hasn't exactly helped. But I guess the main thing I want people to take away from my little journey with the whole anxiety sort of thing is, first of all, don't ever judge a book by its cover. You know, I say this multiple times. Just because someone looks confident or someone acts confident does not necessarily mean they're fine. Like, if there's one question I wish someone would ask me a lot more at the time was, are you okay? And people think it's such a basic question, when in reality it is honestly such an undermined and undervalued question. Because someone could have everything going wrong their whole day, and then it literally comes down to that one point when someone says, are you okay? And that's the thing that could just, you don't know, that could save someone. You know, there was a day, and I don't want to say who and I don't want to say when, but I was going to do something ridiculously stupid, and someone pulled me to one side who I didn't even know for that long. And she pulled me to one side and said, look, are you all right? And I tell you, I had the biggest breakdown of my life. I was crying for 2 hours straight. I said, no, I feel like this, I'm doing this. And I'm not being funny. Had she not stopped me, I would have done something very stupid. Ridiculously stupid. So that's my first point. Please ask someone, are they alright? Because you will never ever know if someone's struggling or not until you ask them. That's my first point. My second point is, if you do suffer with anxiety, and this is something I found myself doing, is meditating every single day really does help me. Obviously, thankfully, being a Muslim, I can do that pretty much most days through praying 5 times a day. But it's not about, and I'm going to say this for the Muslims who are watching this, it's not just about praying and getting it out the way. Like, I really take the time to connect with my prayer, and I really take the time to kind of just be at one with myself and find out who I am. Because if there's one thing I think that everybody needs to do more, and I've barely met anybody, I don't think I've ever physically met anybody who does this, it's giving yourself that time and finding out who you really are. Because the thing is, we are all destined for something in this lifetime, whether we choose to believe it or not. And we all have a gift or a purpose that we have. But the problem is, everyone is so hell-bent on following this general trend of life where it's just like, you grow up, you get a degree, you get a job, you get a family, you grow old and you die. And for me, that's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Because if you're not spending time understanding who you are and what your goal is and what you have to do, then you're wasting your own time. So my advice is, take up things that you think you might enjoy. You know, take up painting, take up some sport, take up reading, take up anything. Like, for me, taking up YouTube was a joke at the first. Like, I never expected to do this, and to be honest with you, I'm not even that successful now, but I just have fun making these videos because I don't know who might watch this. I don't know, there might be someone who needed to see this, and because they've seen it, I helped them. You know, for me, that's the important thing. That's the crucial part. And if I can help someone, one person a day, I don't care who it is. I don't even have to know you, or it could be my closest friend. To me, I'm living life the right way. So, number 2, please take time to respect yourself, find out who you are, and find out who your values are, what your values are, I should say. And number 3, I mean, they're all equally important, but this one I feel like is the biggest priority. It's just, and it kind of links to number 2, but it's different in a way, but it's put yourself first. You know, so many times I would find myself favoring other people. I would find myself giving them more time than I'd give myself. And this comes down to the whole idea of being selfish. People say being selfish is bad. I agree. However, if you're being selfish to invest in yourself, if you're being selfish to realize, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna read some books today, or maybe I'm gonna try something I really enjoy today. Investing in yourself for the future, that's not selfish. And it's something people need to do more. You know, I read this quote and it says, everybody is born an original, but so many people die a copy of someone else. And that hit home for me because I was like, I spent so much time trying to look like this person. I spent so much time trying to be like this person that I completely forgot I was my own entity. And then someone told me a story once, which if anyone knows me, I use this story so much, but it works. And it's the simple case of, there has never been anybody like you in existence, and there never will be anybody like you. So like, let that sink in for a second. There has never been you. You have not existed before, to our knowledge, and you never will exist again. And right now, every day that you live, you are setting yourself up as a piece of history. You are writing a piece of history every single day. Today is like I said, the 4th of April, 2020, okay? We are living through arguably one of the biggest pandemics in the history of mankind. We are going day to day, living our lives, and every single day that passes is another day that's going to join the history books. So I say to that, invest in you. Make yourself the most important person in your life, and next to your family, next to your close friends. Do that, because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're going to grow up in the future when you have to be put in a situation where you need to be independent. You'll be screwed. So take time, be selfish, find out who you are, invest time in yourself, find out what your values are, because if you don't do that, I promise you life will be so much more difficult. Hence why, if you can do it from now, whilst you're still at a young age or whatever age you're at now, do it. The sooner you do it, I promise you your life will be so much better. And that is my personal promise to you. I swear. Life just hits differently when you respect yourself and you have your values up there. But guys, this was a kind of short way of me explaining everything I've been through. I hope this helped. I hope this benefited you guys more than I would have hoped it to. I am definitely coming back to YouTube. You know, I feel like it's something that I have to do. If I don't do it, I'm going to lose my damn mind, because I said for so long I'm going to do it. So I hope this story helps. I hope this sheds some light on who I am as an individual, and to those who know me, I might seem like some amazing person, but I promise you I'm really not. You know, we all have our own battles in life, and I think that's the crucial bit. But yeah, honestly guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. If you've watched until this point, take care of yourselves, stay safe, obviously be careful with this pandemic. God bless us all, and hopefully this thing will be done before we know it, so we can enjoy the summertime, go out there and get some shots up, or, you know, just spend time with our families again, man. But yeah, please like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll catch you all in a minute. Peace.